Good morning and welcome to That's My Farm. I'm Michaela DeMott, your guest host, and I'm 30 minutes northwest of Kansas City at the J&N Cattle Ranch, the birthplace of the Black Hereford cattle. Stay tuned where we'll talk about the breed, the operation, and the future of this ranch. Stay with us and we'll be right back after these messages from our sponsors.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com.
That's My Farm is brought to you in part by Tallgrass Commodities. Big enough to serve, small enough to care.
Good morning and welcome to That's My Farm. I'm Michaela DeMott, your guest host, and I'm here with Dirk Hoagland in Leavenworth County at the J&N Cattle Ranch. First off, Dirk, what does the history look like for this ranch? I understand it's been around since the 1800s. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yes, Michaela. We originally homesteaded in Kansas in 1866. It was my great-great-grandfather. He homesteaded the Decker Farm in near Topeka, Kansas. And over time, we have owned several different ranches, and now we have J&N Ranch here in Leavenworth, Kansas. We have the Gun Barrel Ranch in Eskridge, Kansas, and the F. Morgan Feed Yard as well here in Leavenworth, Kansas.
So to go off of the feed yard, I understand there's some history behind that. Yes,
the feed yard is a one-time capacity of 999 head. We feed primarily our own cattle, and we background some cattle for commercial customers, and you can see it in the background. We have a Rotomix feed truck that we feed everything. It's relatively modern feed yard, basically the same equipment and everything that you would see in a big commercial feed yard owned by Cargill or something like that, just smaller scale. But the feed yard was originally permitted by Frank Morgan, the Kansas City banker. Kansas City is only about 30 minutes from here, and he owned this feed yard and back in the day, and we own it today.
Cool. So tell me a little bit about how and when did you take over and what it's looked like for you since then?
Well, I went to college in New Orleans and played baseball there, and then I went and lived abroad in Brussels, Belgium for a few years and got my MBA abroad. Decided to come back home. I'd lived away and decided that Kansas was really the best place for me, and opportunity came up for me to come back and work and operate the cattle ranch. And I found that an MBA is really important these days to owning and operating a cattle ranch. So my dad and I have been working together, and I'm transitioning into taking over the ranch over time, and I've been here full-time for 5 years, but been working on the ranch really since I was a little kid. There's a growing demand for Black Hereford cattle. I think that people no longer, when I tell someone that we raise Black Herefords, they don't say, Black Hereford, what is that? They say, oh, Black Hereford cattle, I've heard about those, tell me more. And they're beginning to be recognized in more and more. We are selling about 80 to 100 Black Hereford bulls every spring, and at our bull sale. And then in the fall, we have a production sale where we have females and a few ranch broke horses that we'll have offered up as well in the fall.
Okay, great, thank you. We'll be right back after these messages from our sponsors.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
Tarwater Farm and Home has been family owned and operated since its beginning in 1978. What you need for farm and agriculture, lawn and garden, clothing and footwear, and so much more. You'll be surprised at what you'll find in this huge store. They have what you need and lots of it. So come take a look. You'll discover that customer service is first and foremost. Always has been with the Tarwaters. Tarwater Farm and Home, 4107 North Topeka Boulevard.
That's My Farm is brought to you in part by Tallgrass Commodities. Big enough to serve, small enough to care.
Good morning and welcome back to That's My Farm. I'm Michaela DeMott, your guest host, and I'm here with Dirk Hoagland in Leavenworth, Kansas to talk a little bit more about his cattle operation here. So I understand you guys did found the Black Hereford. Tell me the purpose of that.
Yes, Black Herefords were created with the idea that we could use Black Hereford bulls on Angus-based cow herds. The nation uses primarily Angus-based cows, and there's a lot of demand for crossbreeding those cow herds in order to get the most heterosis out on the calves. So what we want is to produce a Hereford bull that these people can use on their Angus-based cow herds, but keep the calves black. That way those calves qualify at sale barns for all the premiums that the black hide gives. And you don't have the red calves getting sorted off when you take that calf crop to sale barn and they sell for less. So that's really the end goal. And we think we're getting closer to achieving that goal all the time.
Great. So do you only have Black Herefords here on the ranch?
We have about 250 registered Black Hereford females, cow herd. We also run some Angus-based commercial cows, and we do a commercial bred heifer development program. So we breed all these commercial Angus-based cows to Black Hereford bulls, and we sell them, or sometimes we'll calve them out ourselves based on what the market is doing. We can retain ownership and calve them out ourselves, or we'll sell them just as bred females in the fall.
Okay. Tell me a little bit more about your bull program here and how many you sell and raise.
We sell about 80 to 100 Black Hereford bulls every spring in our spring sale here on the ranch in Leavenworth. And we'll retain some bulls because we need to use some ourselves. So we don't sell all the bulls that we have. We keep some for our registered cows, and then we'll keep some to use on our commercial bred heifers as well.
Okay. Tell me a little bit more about your bull sale here on the ranch.
We have it. It's every second Saturday in February, and we'll have customers come from all over the country. We usually have it broadcast on the internet as well because, again, we have a lot of people that buy from out of state. We actually just had our last bull sale not very long ago. We're still in the process of delivering and having people come and pick up their bulls. It was just about a week ago, and we had bulls go to, I think, about 13 or 15 different states, everywhere from Virginia to New Mexico to the Dakotas, so even down in Texas.
Great. Thank you, Dirk. We'll be right back after these messages from our sponsors.
The new Better Horses Network is worldwide, presented by Lucas Oil, featuring worldwide radio and TV with iconic hosts like Al Dunning, Sharon Camarillo, Ernie Rodina, Lindy Birch, and Craig Cameron. With American Cowboy, Horse and Rider, Brushy Creek, Cavenders, and Ride TV. Worldwide radio and TV, the all-new Better Horses Network.
Sure Crop Fertilizers was started by my father, Don Sherman, and my mother, Shirley Sherman. Family business that started in the 80s. We predominantly focus on plant nutrients and what we can do to give growers better responses with the fertilizer dollars that they do, and what we can do to make those things work better for the grower. based out of Seneca, Kansas. We work with growers in their soil analysis to figure out what they need, and then we can put those in a blend that gives them the best results, and so that we can deliver that direct to their farm so that they have those nutrients where they need them, when they need them, and so that they can apply them in a manner that's very efficient to them and works well in their planting systems and what they're doing. Sure Crop Fertilizers has been around for a long time. We always say we're big enough to take care of everything you need, but yet we're small enough to do it quickly. You can get a hold of us at 1-800-635-4743. Our website is surecropfertilizers.com, and you can always email me at Corey@surecropfertilizers.com, and with any questions you have, we'll be glad to answer it and work with you.
That's My Farm is brought to you in part by Tallgrass Commodities. Big enough to serve, small enough to care.
Good morning and welcome back to That's My Farm. I'm Michaela DeMott, your guest host, and I'm here with Dirk Hoagland underneath his hoop barn. Tell me a little bit about this structure.
Yeah, Michaela, we built this hoop barn about 4 years ago, and the purpose of it was we needed a additional pen to develop our Black Hereford bulls. And behind us you can see we've got some yearling Black Hereford bulls. These have all been sold in our production sale in the spring. They're awaiting pickup or for us to deliver them around the country. And we've been really happy with it. It takes the weather out of the equation, so the fluctuations in warm weather, the sun's not beating down on them when it's warm. When it's really cold, it's a windbreak. Keeps animals from getting too cold and wet when they're in there during the winter.
So beyond what you have here on site, you have another piece of land in Eskridge. Tell me about that.
Yeah, we have the Gun Barrel Ranch near Eskridge, Kansas. It's about 110 miles west of here. It's 5,000 acres, all in one piece, and we use that primarily for summer grazing. The ranch has about 26 miles of fence, so there's a lot of fence to maintain. But other than that, it's a very simple ranch. There's very little labor involved out there, so it's nice. We always celebrate getting the cattle out on grass. The biggest improvement we have out there is our shipping pens. We wanted a really nice set of shipping pens out there, and they can hold about 2,000 head at one time, and we can load a semi in about 15 minutes. So it's great. We can load cattle up and get them shipped back here quickly and efficiently, and we use John Deere Gator and ATVs a lot out there to check on the cattle, and it's pretty efficient use, I think, of labor with how we run that ranch.
Perfect. So beyond that and this here, you also do have some row crops here. Tell me about that.
Right. We don't have any row crops out in Eskridge. It's just grass and barbed wire. But here in Leavenworth, the Leavenworth Ranch can produce a lot of feed. We have about 300 acres of row crop ground on the Missouri River bottom that we farm primarily for production of feed for the cattle here in the feed yard. And we'll grow corn and soybeans. The beans will be for cash crop, but the corn will be for corn silage, and then we'll pick whatever's left and we'll put it in our bin for feeding the cattle.
Okay, great. Thank you, Dirk. We'll be right back after these messages from our sponsors.
Next time you see a beautiful field of corn, reach out and thank the farmers who work tirelessly to raise corn for livestock feed, renewable fuels, and exports to feed a growing world population. The farmers on the Kansas Corn Commission work for Kansas Corn with grower-funded checkoff dollars that support foreign and domestic market development, research, promotion, and education to expand opportunities for Kansas farmers. To learn more, visit kscorn.com.
My name's Karen Cope, and I have multiple sclerosis. When you have MS, on the outside you look great, but you know what's really going on in the inside is chronic body pain, chronic fatigue. And there's lots of days that I'd wake up and say, oh, please God, help me get through this day. You know, after stem cells, Chloe, my youngest daughter, she was asked by my father-in-law, how's your mom doing? And Chloe said, Grandpa, I've never had a mom like this before. Because she was 8 when I was diagnosed, and she really had no other memory of me but being sick. It's really the simple things that we do as a family, like play cards, and to be able to win at cards. You know, they all laugh because I used to repeat myself and say, what hand are we on? You know, where are we at? And it's just been really a true blessing from God, and we're really thankful.
Fort Wallace was the fightingest fort in the West. Fossils, Indians, soldiers, scouts, wagons, trails, pioneers, stories. Discover the story of Fort Wallace and the people who served here, the people who fought here, the people who settled here. Wallace County, where the past is present.
Ag Promo Source is a unique group of marketing specialists with one mission: help your ag business grow. Each affiliate has their own area of expertise, and they work together to bring you advice, products, and services. To get started, visit agpromosource.com. Ag Promo Source, together we grow.
That's My Farm is brought to you in part by Tallgrass Commodities. Big enough to serve, small enough to care.
Good morning and welcome back to That's My Farm. I'm Michaela DeMott, your guest host, and I'm back here with Dirk Hoagland. First of all, Dirk, how, it's very unique that you guys started the Black Hereford. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Yes, Michaela. Obviously, starting a breed from scratch is a difficult thing to do. There were a lot of challenges along the way, and it wasn't easy, but we felt that there was a good product that we were aiming for. My parents really are the ones that did the hard work, and what they were trying to achieve was an animal that has the benefits of a Hereford, the docility, the feed efficiency, which is so critical anymore, as we are constantly being pushed, the cattle industry in general, being pushed to produce more and more meat with less and less resources, land, food, water, etc. And so there's that aspect of it. At the same time, we found that we could try and maintain the qualities and the traits that the Angus influence, not just the black hair color, but the marbling and the carcass quality that Angus cattle are so well known for, and we're able to do that, and so that all translates into black baldy calves coming off of a Angus cow herd that we think outperform traditional black baldy calves.
So beyond starting the breed, what were some other challenges? You had to start an association. So
yes.
What does that look like?
Yes, the association was a lot of work to start. There is a tremendous amount of record keeping to be done. My parents ran the association in its infancy and did all the record keeping and everything for the initial members, and it has grown now to where it's self-sustaining, and there's employees that work for the association, and they have a president and a board that is elected from the members, and it's a national organization that has grown beyond just being started on this ranch.
Awesome. So you kind of mentioned a little bit about self-sustainability. Tell me how the JN Ranch is sustainable.
Well, we are able to grow all of our own feed, enough feed from our Missouri River bottom ground, which is very fertile, very productive farm ground. We can produce a lot of feed, and we can grow enough hay, and we do have to sometimes buy a few products from other people. We have to buy hay, for example, if it's a drought year and we aren't able to produce enough. Luckily, we have some local farmers that we can buy from in the area, but that helps support the local farmers around, which is a good thing. But other than that, the only items that we buy the only feed additives that we buy from other people are the ethanol, the distiller's grain from ethanol plants.
Great, thank you. Thank you. We'll be right back after these messages from our sponsors.
Welcome to our Bar B, 8,000 plus square feet Western store with something for everyone in the family. We have boots, belts, hats, jeans, anything you could want to outfit you and your horse. Come visit our line of saddles. We have 400 plus new and used saddles in stock. We offer tack, grooming supplies, head stalls, breast collars, you name it, we've got it for you and your horse. That's our Bar B, 1 mile east of Highway 4 on Northeast 39th. Our Bar B, where Western is a way of life.
Welcome to the Jerry Thomas Gallery and Collection, where we feature my renowned artwork, frontier military, and Native American artifacts. In the painting behind me is Scouting the Trail. 2 scouts overlook the Smoky Hill River Valley just north of the famous Monument Rocks, which are internationally renowned, as a column of 7th Cavalry parade north of the river. On this point, 2 scouts rode in a circle, and there were 18 cartridges found up there, and that meant that they usually were warning of impending danger and firing off their weapons. One of those weapons I feature in the gallery, a Spencer weapon, which we featured in the painting. Very unique and very honored to showcase this to you.
Hi, I'm Kim Mandering with Hardy Insurance. I'm here to help you with all of your farm and ranch needs. When it comes to protecting your operation and your family, you need a name you can trust at a price you can afford. Call me today or visit hardyaviationins.com.
All over the country, more and more communities are making the change to biodiesel, made from U.S. soybean oil. And the decision continues, improving the health and welfare for millions of Americans while adding billions to our national economy.
That's My Farm is brought to you in part by Tallgrass Commodities, big enough to serve, small enough to care.
Good morning and welcome back to That's My Farm. I'm Michaela DeMott, your guest host, and I'm here with Dirk Hoagland to talk a little bit about some changes that he's faced over time. So what are some changes you've seen?
Well, Michaela, the technology is always changing in the cattle industry, and not just the cattle industry, but in general. We added the hoop barn structure that we were at earlier. That was a big change. I don't think, 10, 15 years ago, people would have thought of feeding cattle inside a structure like that. We're working on updating equipment, that kind of thing. The technology involved in feeding cattle in a feed yard is getting better and better. The scales, the quality of the feed truck, the quality of the mix is always getting better. We're paying more and more attention to nutrition and feed efficiency, measuring how much an individual animal intakes at the feed bunk is something that is being done regularly, and we can take that into account, and we know that it is a heritable trait, and the offspring of that animal will give that trait to its offspring. So the technology is really evolving. I think that where we are in particular, at this ranch in Leavenworth, we've had a lot of growth from the Kansas City area coming out this way, and that's something that has changed a lot as well.
So with changes come challenges. What are some challenges you've seen over time?
Well, urban encroachment is a big one, especially for this ranch here in Leavenworth. I think this ranch for us here is probably never going to expand just because land prices are getting so much higher here, and like I said, urban encroachment. But we're nestled along the Missouri River, so I think that we aren't at any risk of being developed right up on top of us. But I think that we, as far as challenges, that's an issue. I think there are governmental issues, which we're involved with Kansas Livestock Association, and they're at the forefront of helping all our ranchers and farmers stay on top of those issues, and it's important.
So what does the future of this ranch look like?
Well, the end goal for me personally is to have this ranch and the feed yard and to pass that off to my kids. I've got 2 boys, Dayton and Reed. They're 3.5 and 1.5 right now. And right now they don't understand anything other than they like riding in a tractor and a truck. But I think that my wife's goal and my goal is to preserve the ranch and be able to hand that off to our kids someday, and to maintain the legacy. You know, we've been going on for. I'm the 5th generation, and hopefully my boys will be the 6th generation to own and operate this ranch.
Okay. Thank you, Dirk Hoagland from Leavenworth, Kansas at J&N Ranch, and thank you for watching, and stay tuned next week for the next episode of That's My Farm.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com. Watch Ag AM in Kansas online at agaminkansas.com.